When we first got married and came to Watermark, we saw there was something called foundation groups for couples. Our leaders led out really, really well in just a sense of, hey, this isn't just kind of coming to hang out. We're gonna share hurts, we're gonna share hang-ups. And so after a year and a half of doing foundation group with these leaders, it was actually a natural transition to just go kind of into a community group.
You are missing the piece though, that we came to our leaders at one point and said, yeah, we're not so sure we're gonna stick with this. And the leaders quickly looked at us and go, yeah, that's prideful because you guys somehow think that you're on a different level than these people are, and you're not.
And we started realizing that this is bigger than ourselves. And so now looking back at that group, I can't imagine not having them in our lives because they have been just such an integral role in both of our lives and our marriage.
We had never before been the center of attention with our community group. After a miscarriage and a difficult first pregnancy, it was the first time that we had really needed the love and support from our community group. After getting pregnant with our second child, I was feeling bad again and ended up in the hospital. During that hospitalization, the doctors ran some tests, and after doing a scan, they found something, and I knew that it was wrong.
So I'm sitting there at work and get a text message from my wife that says, come back now, I have a brain tumor. And first thing on my mind was, worst autocorrect ever. Please, God, let this be an autocorrect. So I called her, and as soon as she answered, I knew it was not an autocorrect. She just said, I need you to come now.
The next day we met with our neurosurgeon. He gave us two choices. Either you operate on this and you live, or you don't and you die.
There had to be surgery. What we found out was that the tumor was on the back of her brain, on her cerebellum, and it was the size of a tennis ball.
After being diagnosed, we had our community group come over that Sunday. And they all came over, they brought us meals, and just basically like, how can I pray for you? We all cried together.
Everybody comes over, prays with us, talks to us, and then just disperses, which was really neat because the way they went was one couple went and bought preemie clothes. Another couple went and just bought food, bought groceries. Everybody kind of went and did something. Without us asking or even telling them what needed to happen, they just picked up responsibility and said, great, we've got this covered, you go.
Later that week, we were scheduled for a C-section to have our son. By God's grace, he was healthy and did great. It wasn't long after that I had to go in for emergency surgery. The tumor just had to come out.
So after surgery, the doctor came in and let us know that the surgery was a success. He got the whole tumor. And then later on, after testing, found out that it was benign. So we wouldn't have to go through all the cancer stuff, which we were so thankful for.
2 months after the initial brain surgery, I started having headaches again. This landed us back in the neurosurgeon's office where he explained that the glue that was holding my skull together was infected, and it meant that he was gonna have to go back in for another brain surgery.
We spent longer in the ICU that time around than we did for the initial surgery, and there were bigger scares, just as big of scares, that second time around than that first one, which was not expected.
We'd been supplied meals for every day for 2 months already, and then to have to go back to where we started and ask for more help for longer. So we humbled ourselves, humbled our hearts, knowing that we had never really been authentic enough to say, I need help, and this is the Lord's way of just saying, hey, I've supplied people, so let them be the hands and feet of me. And so we did. We had to, and I was thankful for that.
Through all this, community was the tangible expression of God's love for us. And this is what community does. They pick up your burdens when you are not strong enough to carry them yourselves. We are so thankful for our foundation group of leaders encouraging us years ago. We're grateful that God doesn't want us to go through this life alone, and He has given us the gift of one another.